there, Maureen Atkinson here, founder of Lifeshiift, a community of women seeking purpose and adventure in later life. Many of us find that a lot of our possessions start to feel more like burdens than blessings as our children move out of home and as we no longer have the pressing schedules that we used to have. And many of us are also looking forward to the possibility of traveling for longer periods or even living in another area for a while. That's where my guest today comes in. Selena Pollard is an intrepid real estate agent and founder of the Facebook group Rightsizing Remedies. This group is made up of professionals who focus on areas like decluttering, finances, retrofitting your home for mobility issues, and retirement coaching. I met Selena quite by coincidence at a lunch event and we clicked. Not only could we see how what we were both doing overlaps, but also we really got along. And I am so excited to introduce you to Selena. She has been a real estate agent for more than 30 years. She's a RE/MAX Hall of Famer and has earned designations in serving luxury properties and seniors clients, but I'm going to let her tell her story. So over to you, Selena.
Thank you, Maureen.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself and how you came to found Rightsizing Remedies.
Sure thing. So first of all, I want to thank you for having me on your show today, and also want to say hello to your life shifters as well. Right-sizing remedies, again, like most of the things in my career, was born very organically. Over the last dozen or so years, I have found that I have not only been serving the aging community for that third act, but I've enjoyed doing that. And one of the things that I've noticed is that, there are a number of different professionals that really come into play when servicing this sector of the community. And sometimes it's hard to sort of find people that you really trust. Having been in the industry for so long, I've cultivated a number of relationships, trustworthy relationships that I would trust with my own parents. So this is actually how it was born. And I just recognized there was a need for a one-stop shop where people can visit in a community that's safe and a closed group where you can go in and you can get information about anything that relates to making a move at this time of life, how your finances have changed. We have an excellent financial planner in there who specifically deals with different tax credits. And we have a retirement coach you had mentioned. Oftentimes people are retiring and they're not really sure what to do with the next chapter. We have a personal trainer specifically for those of us who are aging a little bit and need we can't be doing the 30-pound lifting and all that kind of stuff. There's different things that we need to do. So those are just a few of the professionals that Rightsizing Remedies is partnering with. It's an offering to people of a certain age that really need the support.
Many of the life shifters I meet talk about simplifying their lives. And what are you finding are the drivers that drive people to think about downsizing their living space?
Well, you hit the nail on the head with the word simplifying. What's happening is the children are now gone. You're living in a 3 or 4 bedroom home that is a 2-story. Perhaps there may be some mobility issues. We've got more house than we have people to live in. And again, in this third act, they want to be able to be free to travel for extended periods of time and not worry what is going to happen to the home when they're gone. There's also instances where there's the unfortunate death of a spouse. And again, that home is just too big for one person to maintain. And I guess that would be another reason is the maintenance factor, the maintenance financially and the maintenance physically of, having to mow the lawn or having to, shovel the snow. And financially, as I mentioned, the roof caving in and just not wanting to deal with that. So those are just a few of the driving factors.
What are some of the barriers that you hear about?
Well,
Yeah,
there's a
lots of
couple.
them too.
There's quite a few barriers. Where do I begin? Okay, so two, I think, of the biggest barriers would be the fear of not understanding or just even trying to conceptualize what do I do next, right? So not having the information and not feeling comfortable with what do I do next. A huge part of that is also the actual decluttering. That is very major. Just last evening, I was speaking to someone who would possibly consider downsizing, but her first question was, what would I do with my things? There is the tendency to put it off for that very reason. Then your children are going to have to deal with it. And so actually, back to your last question, one of the driving factors is to handle it so that your children don't have to handle it. But there's also, getting back to our current point, is it's quite easy to just say, you know what, I don't want to let the kids deal with it in the eventuality.
One of the things that I saw was that you then have control of how you want to do this. Things can happen where sometimes that control is taken out of your
Taken
hands.
away. There are certain things that are inevitable in our lives, and you want to make the plan when you have the ability to control it. Because if you're having a moment of fear now, that is compounded when it's taken away, when that opportunity is taken away. And I think all of us know at least one person who, had they sort of stepped in front of it, things would have rolled out much smoother for them, and they would have been happier with what the eventuality is with. So that's just something that I think our audience should really think about.
Where do you find people end up going when they decide to downsize?
So we first want to figure out, are you going to be going into a multi-generational property? That's one of the things that is considered. You want to maybe live closer to your children, and maybe you guys will buy a home together. That's one option. Another one of the most popular ones is buying a condo instead. That way you're still building wealth in the real estate capacity, but you're in a place that's really conducive to your current lifestyle, or the lifestyle that you envision yourself living in the next chapter. And another option is retirement home living. And I personally think that's a great option. And the reason I actually think that's a great option is because of the socialization aspect. There's a huge social aspect there that you can't necessarily have unless you're living in a building that really is for people that are your age and they have activities and so on planned. So there's a few different things. And I also have people who, in combination with purchasing a condo or such, they may also decide to live half of the year out of the country. And one of the things that people don't think about is you can just rent. You can just rent. You don't have to buy again. And I think that's not spoken about enough.
Where do you find most people are going? As they sell, say, a larger house, where do they move to?
I'm definitely finding that most of my clients are moving into condos. They're purchasing condos in neighborhoods that they really want to be in. I specifically have encouraged them, and it's the best place to buy a condo in a boutique building. So, we don't want those 30 stories skyscrapers. We're looking at buildings that are 12 floors and less, and maybe 10 units per floor. Quiet building. And there are a number of them in different neighborhoods. And I just sort of whittle it down to those. And those are the ones that my clients tend to really, really gravitate towards.
What you mentioned was this gives these people an opportunity to say, okay, I have a chance now to be close to my boat. I don't have to travel for a long time. Gives me an opportunity to live near a golf course if I'm a golfer.
Yeah.
So what is the process of getting them to their final
There.
destination?
Yeah. Okay. So that is where me and my team and my brand of professionals come in. So generally, we're walking into a home. Sometimes it's a single person or a couple. They've got a number of items in the home. So we want to have discussions again, as I mentioned earlier, around where they see themselves going. So we generally find that place first. Then we establish at that time, okay, what are we taking with us? What's no longer coming on this journey with us? That's where our decluttering specialist comes in. And I do have a few that I work with, and they are masterful. That's like your best friend. They will help you really uncover what's important to you, what you can let go, what you can donate, and give you sort of the bare bones about what the reality is, because their biggest job is having that conversation about things that may be valuable to you that may not be valuable to somebody else. We're going to start talking a little bit about when we're actually going to be putting the property on the market. So I do an entire logistics plan with my clients, what's going to happen at this period of time, what's going to happen next. And then we generally like to sort of get an idea, move you into your new place prior to getting your old place on the market. So we definitely customize a plan that works for each and every individual. We make it look seamless, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background. And as I mentioned, I have all of the trades and all of the services and all of the professionals to just make this a very smooth process. And not every realtor has that. But again, because of how long I've been in the business and my absolute love for this segment of the business, I got you.
That sounds great. And if you were going to kind of sum up your three pieces of advice that you would give people as they're deciding on downsizing or right sizing, what are the top three things that you think people should be thinking about and doing at this
Actioning.
point?
Right. So
Yes.
I would say number one, make a plan. And you should really be starting to make that plan anywhere between 3 to 5 years before your actual move. Because again, there's some physical components, but there's also psychological components. And you're going to make that plan with your partner. You're going to bounce things off your best friend. You're going to bounce things off your children. The second thing I would say, and I said it earlier, I can't say it enough, declutter, 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 declutter. That was about 4 things right there. And the last thing that I would say is connect with a community or an individual like myself who can really sort of brainstorm with you about the realities of this, because that's going to help take some fears away from you as well, understanding the process, because it is the longest process. That particular move is the longest and it's the most unique. And to be honest, it is the most stressful.
I think emotionally challenging because
Absolutely.
this has been your life and you've
You
built
don't
it
want to let
sometimes
go.
for
You don't want
30,
to let
40
go.
years.
It's hard to do. And, make no bones about that. But we're here to support that, right? We're here
Yeah.
to support that.
Well, thank you so much. This is very, very helpful. It's helpful for me personally because I think we all at a certain point find it's wanting to simplify our lives and
Yes.
make it easier.
Because that is actually what is at the end of all of this. It is brightness, it is lightness, and it is sunshine.
At the end of this
That's
that
right.
this is where I'm going to be, then I think that's really great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Selena. And for anybody who would like to reach Selena or would like to get onto the Facebook page,
Yes.
Rightsizing Remedies,
Yes.
the link will be below in the notes. So please click on it, check out Selena and all the various professionals here. Lifeshiift is a part of that group, and we're really feel very happy to have joined it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and I appreciate your community.
Thank you.
If you would like to see more Lifeshiift videos, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel using the subscribe button below.